Most people start their mornings with a good breakfast, a cup of coffee, and other stuff like that. I start my breakfast by finding out that one of the worst games of all time back in the Super NES era is getting a remake. Hello everyone, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to another edition of a Wolf's Word Special. Now today on a Wolf's Word Special, I was watching a YouTuber by the name of The Quarter Guy, who is basically a top 10 countdown artist. So he does his vlog series, like many of the top 10 countdown artists do their vlog series. Hell, I actually got my vlog series from them in many cases. And he started talking about that there's this indiegogo project going on. Alright, let me just stop beating around the bush. Basically, there's this indiegogo project going on right now by this new company that is going to remake Shaq Fu. You heard me right, guys. This company is doing an indiegogo project to remake the game Shaq Fu. What can I say? It's one of the worst games of all time, Shaq Fu. It had horrible fighting mechanics, the game did not look appealing whatsoever, and having Shaq in the game was so freaking stupid. I mean, that's almost as bad as Michael Jordan being in Space Jam. I know a lot of people like Space Jam, but after years have passed, I can kind of look at it like it would have been better off without him in there. So that's being honest. Shaq, and plus, like Quarter Guy said in his video, Shaq isn't relevant anymore. That is very true. Back when Shaq Fu came out, Shaq was all the rage. I mean, he was in multiple movies, multiple games, and other stuff like that, and he failed in all these aspects. He failed in his movie in Steel. He failed in this movie, you know, about that rapping genie. He failed in Shaq Fu. He failed in freaking his cameo in Good Burger. Like, he failed in nearly every single aspect he was put in besides basketball. So, why would you want to bring back Shaq and his game Shaq Fu? Like, why? Like, I don't understand why you want to do this. Because let me say it this way. Back when Shaq Fu first came out, there weren't that many fighting games out there. I mean, think about it. There were only like 3 at the top of my head I can remember. There was only Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Killer Instinct. Now look at how many fighting games there are now. I mean, look at this, guys. We have so many fighting games, it's not even funny. We have Street Fighter, which is Ultra Street Fighter 4 is coming out soon. We have Mortal Kombat. We have Injustice. We have Tekken. We have freaking Dead or Alive. And if you want me to go even further with like independent projects and stuff like that, we got Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Ultramax is coming out pretty soon. We've got Skullgirls. There are so many fighting games out right now. How does Shaq Fu think it's going to be relevant today? All I know is that I don't know how to see this. And their tagline is, this time we won't make a fool of ourselves. We'll see, guys, because look. I'm going to say this. If you want to make a Shaq Fu game, here are a couple of things that could help. Make sure that the fighting mechanics are fluent and functional. Remember, guys, if the fighting game doesn't have fluent or functional controls, it's not going to appeal to everyone. And this is coming from me, a casual fighting game player. So I need to tell you that if you don't have fluent fight controls, your people are not going to like it. Look at Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. That game has very fluent fighting controls. So that's one. You need to make sure that your fighting controls are fluid and functional. Number 2, make sure the roster is colorful enough. If you're going to make us play a fighting game, make sure we actually like the roster of characters and give us some variety. A good idea of variety in many games is Skullgirls. Even though Skullgirls has only 9 characters, 10 with the Squiggly DLC if you got Skullgirls Encore, all of them have their own fighting style and none of them seem the same in many aspects. So you got to make sure every character has their own unique style in many cases, otherwise it's going to get boring. And lastly, you gotta make us want to play your game. I mean, considering its bad press, the game being called, you know, a remake of Shaq Fu, it's probably not going to do very well. I mean, look at if you want my honest opinion, you probably should have called it something else, because calling it Shaq Fu is going to reference everybody to the bad game. Look at the makers of Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs was originally going to be called True Crimes Hong Kong, but because of how bad the True Crime series did on the Xbox and PS2 with True Crime Streets of LA and True Crimes New York Streets of New York, they decided to change the title from True Crimes Hong Kong to Sleeping Dogs. Honestly, I think they should change the title of Shaq Fu to something else. I don't know what to call it, but why not like The Legend of Shaq or The Untold Legend of Shaq or something like that? Like, something. Just change the title from Shaq Fu, because if you reference the bad game, not a lot of people are going to be eager to check out this game. That's just being brutally honest. I did see the trailer, which you can see in the link in the description below. It doesn't look bad, though Shaq looks like he's on steroids. He looks like a beefier version of Jax from Mortal Kombat. I know a lot of people are turned off from this. Hell, I am turned off from this. But to be honest, I think I know what they're trying to go for. I think they're trying to go for a more over-the-top style. Is that really a bad thing? No, there are plenty of games that have gone for an over-the-top style. Look at Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. That game went over the top in many aspects, and it did supremely well. Hell, look at Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4 went beyond the what we would put in a normal game, and it did really well. If Shaq Fu is going to do an over-the-top style, it may work. It just depends on how they implement it. Though, if they do an over-the-top style, it's starting to remind me of, I don't know, there's another fighting game that had an over-the-top style that was really interesting to play, but not really all that engaging. I don't remember, but you get what I mean, guys. All I know is, do I want to play this remake of Shaq Fu? No. But I'm going to wait to see what everybody else says. I mean, when it gets released, I'm going to see what everybody else says. If people say it's a game worth playing, or, check it out, I'll get it. But as it stands, I have no kind of expectation for it because of it being referenced with the old name. I mean, its name is called Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. Get me? Like, they should have called it something else, and that's just being brutally honest. So anyways, guys, that's all I really need to talk about. What a way to start my morning, huh? So anyways, guys, until next time, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and this has been another edition of a Wolf's Word Special. So until next time, take care.